What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday, September 11th. I actually took two trades. I know there's only one execution here, but I took two trades today overall in the market. It was two long trades. I took one in pre-market and then the other one during the market hours. So starting off on the higher time frame, let's go to the 4-hour time frame here. I was looking at the chart to see if we were going to end up getting a move on up. Overall, I had noticed that we were in this 4-hour fair value gap and it became an inverse and it was being held very nicely overnight and also yesterday too. So on the 15-minute time frame, I was looking to see what price was going to do here at CPI. I had a feeling that we were going to pump on up into this draw on liquidity. So on the 1-minute time frame, when I noticed that the CPI data dropped and it caused the market to drop as well, I was just keeping an eye on it to see what it was going to do. I noticed that we had a form of structure here where we had a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high, and then this low took out that low, creating a bearish fair value gap. When this got inversed, I actually put my entry here, stopped below this low, and I took my profit off actually at this time right here. Now, the reason why I took it off there was because I am bullish on the day overall, and so I was expecting this to be manipulation down. So I took my profit off there from this trade here, which was a really nice trade. It was about a 1-to-3 almost, I think. But yeah, overall, I wanted to see us get that bearish fair value gap created in that manipulation time and then have it bounce off of either this 1-hour fair value gap or this 1-hour fair value gap that we had here. But as you can see, price had other plans where it just continued to drop on down. I actually had to step out. So I did not catch any of this drop. I'm sure there was probably some sort of entry. Let's take a look together because I'm just reviewing now the price action here. So there is one. If you notice, we have a bullish fair value gap that gets created right there. And where does it get invalidated? It gets invalidated. Like, let's say you get in here and then your take profit would have been the previous day low. That's a 1-to-3. Let's say you waited for this candle, still a 1-to-1.74. So you could have gotten in short there based off of the fact that we were closing below these fair value gaps. And I think on the 1-hour time frame too, we did close. So this candle was the one that actually closed below that. But overall, if you wanted to hit that low, because it just seems so obvious that it wanted to do that, because of the fact that there was also a 15-minute fair value gap that was holding us, right? This right here, this 15-minute fair value gap was holding us 1, 2, and almost 3 times. When this candle closed below here at 10:15, that's when you could have looked for that entry. So that model it hits almost every time when you see something like that, where it invalidates a 15-minute fair value gap and you trade in that direction, targeting an old low. So 10:15 would have been this candle right here. And so you would have waited for some kind of bullish fair value gap to get formed, invalidate it, take that going into the draw on liquidity, which was this previous day low. So now I was at the beach actually today taking a walk when I noticed that price was moving back on up. So I was waiting to see, okay, let's see if price is going to end up closing above this bearish 15-minute fair value gap. If price, just like yesterday, if price was going to reverse in this area, we should not see price close above that. But because we did, I started to look for a long entry. So after 11:45 was when that candle closed. So let's go back in the chart. Take a look here at 11:45 right here. You say, okay, I'm going to look for a long setup. What does price do? Price retraces back into this 1-minute fair value gap, also creating a bearish fair value gap right here. This one right there. Gets invalidated off this candle. Now I opened my phone a little too late, and so I had to log into my broker and then place the order, but the order was this right here with the stop below that low, and I was targeting that draw on liquidity. My first price target was actually the high of day, so as you can see right there, got taken out. I took the majority of my position off there, and I left a runner to that draw on liquidity, which as you can see was right there. So overall, this trade was a 1-to-2.48, I believe it was. Great trade. And of course, price continued to move on up. I did have other price targets. I had this 040.75 and I had this 150.25. I couldn't stay on the phone to monitor it because I was busy today. So this was more than enough for me. But so that you guys can understand why I had those targets, if we look on the 15-minute time frame and look left, let me take off the quarterly cycles indicator so it can look easier for you guys. This was the draw on liquidity that I had. This was the other price target that I had. And this was the last price target that I had. You can see I'm targeting pretty prominent swing highs, and price just crushed through all of those, even coming up into this swing high right here. Although not super prominent like these, but still that is an area of interest. And now we're sitting inside of this daily fair value gap. I believe that's a daily fair value gap. Yes. So we are in this daily fair value gap now. So what can I expect for the rest of the week? Although I am bearish overall, here is something interesting to note. What do we see price doing? We have a low, we have a higher high. What's this? A higher low. That's a failure swing low. Okay. What do we need to see price do to have upside? Number one, this inversion fair value gap needs to get invalidated, which it did today, right? This candle closed above that. Perfect. Number two, we need price to close above here. All right. Daily close above equals upside. Because the thinking is if we end up closing above this level tomorrow, Thursday, this is going to end up being next. Now, if we get a weekly close above here, which we almost did, but we didn't, right? Look, Friday closed right here. But if we get a weekly close above that level, I'm thinking we're going to hit all-time high. But right now, my target is this here. So for the short term, I mean, I'm thinking we might be bullish. This action is very bullish overall. This swing low that was created. We're going to see what overnight does. We're going to see how tomorrow ends, and that'll give us the trajectory for the rest of the year, I think, because, I mean, just look at this. We've had downtrending structure, market structure shift, retracement back into what really was a 4-hour fair value gap where we bounced off of, and now we're moving back on up. So we'll see, guys. I was bullish. It was a good reason to go bullish. Just to review once again the reason why I was bullish. Just look at the price action here, right? A low, a higher low, higher low, higher low, sweep of a low. We didn't get any kind of strong displacement close below that. That's always important. Look to see if there is displacement below these lows. If there isn't, then we can target higher. And that's what we didn't get here, see? The 1 hour closed there. Next one opened up, started to move on up. Nope, no displacement. High of day is our target. And then draw on liquidities, or the areas of liquidities that we had. So I hope you guys are starting to see this a little more clear. It's very simple. It doesn't have to be super complicated. And it just, I hope that it makes sense to you guys. If you don't totally get it yet, you know, feel free to book a one-on-one with me. We can go over anything that is found in my link tree, or feel free to shoot me a quick question on the DM. If it's a very simple question that you have, I'd be more than happy to answer it on TikTok, Instagram, Discord, wherever. So hopefully you guys entered me today, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Peace.